recorded at the moment too. Scott just told me to tell you.
Oh, hey, I'm not happy with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, cancel the whole thing, please.
Yeah, that's alright. Just making sure. So, how you going anyway, mate? How's it going over in New Zealand?
Oh, not too bad. Lockdown, so we've got another week. So,
Another week, eh?
Yeah.
Does that start from what? You mean like the fall of next week, or does it end on a Monday? How are they working this shit out?
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't been paying much attention. I don't even watch the news, but someone did tell me that it could be next Monday. I probably got that wrong, so everybody just listen to the news, not listen to me.
Yeah, no, that's alright, bloody. We don't want people going out there and going crazy.
Nah, spreading the old virus around.
China virus, is that what? I think that's what Donald Trump calls it.
China virus, yeah, probably.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Makes sense. Better virus.
So, how have you been anyway, mate? Keeping out of trouble?
Yeah, keeping out of trouble. Just same old. Just doing a lot of art, sleeping a lot, bro. I've been doing a lot of sleeping, so I've definitely done my fair share for this year.
So, what? So what? As soon as you're allowed back out in action, you're going to stay out for a couple of days just to even it out, or?
Yeah. Well, to see what happens. If there's a party, I might just let loose for a few days after and really enjoy it.
Just really get it off my chest.
Really get it off my chest, yeah.
See, we've got it pretty lucky over here because in Australia, because everything's still humming pretty much, except you're only allowed to go to the supermarket as a 2-pack, unless you got kids, and then you're allowed to chuck a third or a fourth on, depending on how many kids you got. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I went to Bunnings today and had to wait in line outside the shop to just to get inside. Felt like I was at a nightclub, but during the day, and there was no alcohol.
And I didn't have my ID.
Yeah. Didn't even get asked for it, eh? So it's a bonus. I am looking my age at the moment.
I can't wait to go to Bunnings, man. You don't know how lucky you are. There's so many things I want to buy from Bunnings. It's unreal.
What's your number one? What are you going to rock up there? Timber?
Yeah.
You're just hanging out to get that wood, eh?
Just to get that wood, mate. I'd do anything. You'll see me on the streets just to get wood.
Looking like a fiend. You got wood, bro? Bro, have you got any wood?
Got any wood, cuz?
Sneaking out at night.
2x4? Yeah. That's the good shit.
That's not cut with anything, is it?
Yeah. MDF? Nah, that's too much. Too many chemicals, mate. I'm starting off.
I've been off it for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Nah, the missus will kick me out. She sees it.
Oh, well, what's the go now? I know you've been focusing on a lot of mental health stuff. How's that been? How have you been focusing on that during this quarantine?
For Grey Feathers, which is a clothing label, I've been just doing some pictures, some ideas of what to make. Getting some ideas together for the stuff. I can just throw it out and hopefully it goes good. Great mental health. I've been adding. I've got a personal trainer training me at the moment, and he's seeing me twice a week, and he's showing me all these exercises and stuff like that. So I've been chucking that on Instagram just to really get your mental health, like your mind active in times like this, because that's when your mental health kind of drops, is when you don't have a purpose during the day, you're locked inside, you don't do much.
Are you finding that doing a bit of exercise and whatnot is helping like a lot, like releasing endorphins, just
100%.
Getting you more, I don't know, like just active rather than just lounging about and sleeping?
Yeah, 100%. It makes you achieve something during the day, like even if it's something small, if you're finding that you are getting lazy or anything like that, you just pick one thing to do. Like, clean the house, and then the next day, like, it's just all the small things that you achieve just make that day so much better.
Yeah. So it's what sort of exercise are you doing with your personal trainer? Is it what you cranking out a set of star jumps or?
Nah, a lot of body weight squats. He got me to have 2 cans, and you hold the 2 cans and you kind of like squeeze your shoulder blades together. It works out your back.
What were in the cans?
Tomorrow we're doing boxing, so that should be interesting.
Boxing? How are you going to do that?
I guess in thin air. I'm not 100% sure, but I got something to look forward to tomorrow.
Jeez, that's going to be exciting stuff. And what have you changed your diet up? You eating healthy with all this, or are you still just eating the same?
Yeah, eating healthier food. I'm trying to anyway. He gave me a whole list of what I should be eating, and just ticking that off the grocery store list. So getting all that in my pantry. So yeah.
That's going straight in my pantry.
Straight in my basket.
Yeah, no, that's good shit. So how long's this been going down for? 2 weeks, you reckon you've had a personal trainer?
2 weeks, yeah.
Have you noticed any difference?
I've lost 2 kgs.
2 kgs?
Yeah, so in 2 weeks, so I'm super stoked about that. He said that the weight will come off fast, but then when you get into it, it will slow down, and then you'll have to put in more effort to burn off the rest of the fat. But I'm just ready to take off any fat, so it's all good.
I just want to strip it all off.
Yeah, start fresh.
Have you tried going on the like ketogenic diet or oh fuck, what was the one that I did? Fucking blown my mind. Anyway, I did a diet, and it's basically I think it was ketogenic or some shit like that. And basically all you do is eat meat, vegetables. You're allowed, like, for the first 2 weeks, you're only allowed like 21 carbs per day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like no sugar, nothing. And within like a month or 2 months, man, I dropped fucking 20 kgs.
Oh, really?
And that was just from eating this diet, bro.
So it actually worked for you?
100%. I went from 110 kgs to 90 kgs. I don't know if it's the healthiest way to do it, but fuck, it just fell off me, eh? It fell off me so hard to the point that, like, people that I was, like, friends with prior to doing the diet that I hadn't seen for the 2 months thought that I had ended up smoking again. I had like an addiction and shit. Like that was the rumor that went around because because of how quick I lost the weight. Yeah. It was unreal, bro. It was
Good on your friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. No, he's been smoking. Yeah, fuck it. I was like the healthiest I'd ever been.
Yeah, feeling good about yourself, eh? He's on the gear.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, what? Why would you say that? Like, I did obviously, like, 2 months is pretty quick to drop 20 kgs. You go from being fucking 110 down to 90. You probably do look a bit frail and maybe a bit sick. But I was doing it the right way.
So, was it hard? Like, how much did you have to have like a motive to like stick to the plan?
Yeah, motivation's key for it, but I have this weird thing where if I set a plan for myself, there's like the chances of me like fucking up are pretty slim because I'll beat myself up about it more than anyone else will beat me up. So I'll be like, fuck it, I fucked up. Rather than, so it was easy for me, bro. Like I didn't crave it. Like I just worked with what I had and made it work. It's the only way really to do it because you can't cheat a diet, otherwise it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So like logically, you have to.
I'm kind of the opposite.
What with what?
I find that like like if I do something that I know I should be doing, but no one else is telling me to, kind of like just really just really like not wanting to let them down. So I just I just do what it takes to actually do it.
What if you're doing it for someone else?
For someone else, yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. If I'm doing it for someone else, it's probably I don't know. I probably don't really care that much. It's more just if I'm doing it for myself and I fuck up, I'm the only one to blame, bro. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's all my fault. So I'll just wouldn't let it slip up. And if I do slip up, I'm like I just become a sook, bro. Like sad at myself because I fucked up.
Yeah.
It's a good way to be.
Oh, yeah. Oh shit. What have you been up to during this lockdown? What activities? What have you been doing? I know you still working.
Yeah, bro. I've been still working, which has been good. Just been out there mowing lawns, installed a couple lawns, just doing my day-to-day stuff. Other than that, we've been going out every morning, taking the dogs for walks, because like you're still allowed to go out as long as you're, I don't know, like in an open park and that sort of carry on. So we'll go out for a walk every morning, just get out of the house, go do my work. We set up a wee gym out the back so that we could still work out because obviously the gyms and everything are shut over here.
Oh, you got your own gym. Nice.
Yeah, as you can tell, I've been working out hard.
Yeah, you look so good.
Yeah, bro. Sweating bullets over here. So I've been doing that, and other than that, bro, not really much else has changed for us because we're quite homebodies. So like we're always at home. Like the only thing that's changed really is that we can't do stuff. No, it's not that we would do it. It's just that we can't now. So it's not really that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? We chill at home 90% of the time. I mean, we've been getting a lot more done around the house, which is great because you know, it's weird, bro. It's like in the weekend when there was like coffee shops and stuff open, it's like there were distractions. Like, oh, we'll just go have a coffee. We'll go do this, you know, and it'd be like it would take away from like the activities that you had to do around the house. Now that there's not little things, even if they take like 20 minutes, bro, to go get a coffee or whatever, it seems to take longer than that, and then you're like your day's wasted because you've just been pottering around at the park or whatever. You can't do that anymore, bro. You can't hide. So it's like every minute of the day, you fucking clean the house, you know, getting something done. Otherwise, you get to the end of the day, bro, and same sort of thing, bro. It comes back down to it. I'll be like lying in bed, beating myself up because I've done fuck all day.
Yeah.
Like, why was I even alive today? Like, I did nothing. I might as well have been, you know what I mean? Might as well not have altered out.
I could have saved that day for something good.
Yeah, I could have saved that day for the end of my life and used it. So instead, I just fucking blew it away.
A lot of people went and bought paint before the lockdown, and there was a massive line outside paint shops because they're just going to paint their houses, but locked in. But imagine the fumes, like
yeah, well,
being stuck in your house.
They weren't painting the bloody outside. You know, you're not allowed outside over there.
Yeah.
Out the front, painting the neighbour's house.
Out the window.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys.
It would have been a good idea, but if you had the money, go buy a heap of fucking door handles, doors, fucking. There's heaps of shit you could have got done while you were in isolation for 4 weeks. I'm sure most people would have stuff to do in their house.
Yeah, 100. Well,
you're not gonna...
I'm renting, so I can't do much to my house. So it's kind of like I'm missing out. You know, if I had my own house, I would be just every day just be at it. But
yeah, sometimes you got to have days off though. It'll get the best of you some days. You end up you'll work your ass off, and then fucking it'll be like 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and you've smashed out a whole day, and then you wake up the next day and you fucking pooped. It almost bites you in the ass because you've gone hundy. You've gone hundy the day before, and then it takes a whole day to rest. So like it's like, I've just done half the amount and then had a good rest, and then half the amount the next day.
Yeah, you need that balance.
Oh, bloody oath you do. Sorry about that.
Tell me, what's that?
I said sorry about that. Just need my wee coffee kick.
Oh, that's alright. We all need them. Tell me about yourself. What's something that people are listening wouldn't know about you?
Well, what they wouldn't know about me. Jeez, I don't know if I want to let that stuff off the chest. Nah, there's not not really that much to know about me. I'm 27. I'm a lawnmower man. I'm from Perth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from New Zealand, but I live in Perth. I'm Australia strong now, but
How long you been in Perth for?
moved over here in 2012. Me and one of my mates moved over here in 2012. Just thought we'd change it up a bit. And mate, I wouldn't look back. I think I've been back to New Zealand once, and that was in 2014 for New Year's, and it was fucking freezing, bro. It was 0 degrees at a festival, and I was like, fuck this shit. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. I'm not planning on going back to New Zealand anytime soon either. It's fucking, I mean, it's a beautiful place, but it's fucking a bit nippy for me.
Yeah, especially Perth, man. Perth's a hot little place, so going from Perth to New Zealand is a big change.
Yeah, it is, bro. And yeah, it's weird because when you first come over here, it's fucking, your first summer, it's like 35 degrees, and you're like, fuck me, this is fucked. And then you get and you get used to it, and then like summer rolls around and it'll be like 40 degrees, and it's just like rocking around in the house, no aircon on, like it's just normal. I couldn't imagine going back home, bro, and fucking putting up with the winter where it's fucking. What were the temperatures, bro, that we used to get in Wanaka when we were living there?
Minus, bro. They were so cold.
But was it minus in Wanaka town?
Yeah, I don't know, but in Hawaii, like, it would get, cold, man. I'm pretty sure minus 10, like, that's how, like, at one of its coldest. I remember going out to my mum's car and opening the door handle, and the door handle just broke in my hand because it was so iced up, and the window was like this thick of like just pure ice. You had to get the old jug, you know, like you're allowed 10 minutes.
Yes, bro, I remember that.
Yeah.
Me, I've forgotten about that, eh?
Bro, they were cold.
They were cold, bro. Actually, I don't know exactly how cold. I just remember feeling, bro. I remember going to work and having to wear like gloves and stuff. This is because we'd start work at like 6:30 in the morning, have gloves, jumpers. Like, there's no fucking way I would choose to do that ever again in my life. I did that because I had to. Like, I didn't have to, but like my family lived there. I was like just living there because my family were there. Fucking as soon as you get out of that shit, well, for me, as soon as I got out of there, fuck, there was no looking back, G. Fuck that.
Yeah, when I got back into New Zealand, man, I was like, I know how cold the South Island is, man. I'm staying up high, but I love the South Island, so that's why I chose Nelson, because it's always sunny and it's just beautiful. And
you love the South Island so much, you went to the furthest point.
Yeah, because it's warm.
Yeah. It's like, I want the heat, but I love the South Island, so Nelson's perfect.
Nelson in between both islands, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's
on
a good. It's a perfect spot though. My grandma used to live in Nelson, and from what I remember of it, it was a nice place.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. You got the sea, you got sunshine most days. It's warm. People are so lovely. It's like you're on holiday. Like, just the feel of it, you know. It doesn't feel like a serious workplace. Like Christchurch seemed like a busy, serious place, but Nelson is just like a getaway, kind of like a holiday place.
Bit of a retreat.
A retreat, yeah, for people that need it. Perfect, man.
So what about you, my G? I know we obviously went to school together and whatnot. We brought up in, I lived in Dunedin first, and then moved to Wanaka when I was about 10. You would have been living in an old Hawea flat. Or Hawea, sorry. And we went through school, did all that sort of jazz. Stayed around. I went to Geraldine, did a mechanic apprenticeship, and then fucking, you went off to Christchurch?
Yeah, went off to Christchurch. From Christchurch, went to Melbourne, and then back to New Zealand, and moved my way down to Nelson.
So, you obviously moved back to New Zealand because you got yourself in a bit of strife. I've also found myself in a bit of strife over here. It seems to be something that happens in Australia. How did that change it for you? How did that? Obviously, I feel like that was quite a turning point in your life for you.
Oh yeah, 100.
So, because you're a completely different person now. Well, not completely different, but like, I'd almost say you've got your head more screwed on, and you're I don't know, you've got achievements there, bro, that you're trying to smash, and
yeah,
like,
more understanding of.
How was that for you to live through?
Well, first it started when I was in. Should I take you back to how it first started?
Take us back, bro. We got all day.
Well, well, it first started when Wanaka always had a party scene and always had drugs. So the idea of drugs just seemed fun, harmless, nothing to it all. Then when I moved to Christchurch, I started taking acid. I took acid for the first time, got a panic attack, or the worst night. So then I started to take more acid, and this one trip that I did just completely changed my whole life. It was, I thought gangs were after me. I thought gangs were taking my friends away. I thought I had no control. I thought that the world was like a big army, bro, and I couldn't talk about it. If I said anything, like, people that I knew would have got hurt. So that was really intense. And then the next day I kind of woke up out of it, and I was like, man, like, it was just a bad trip, but something deep down, like, I had a belief that it was all true. So then when I went overseas, I just had that paranoia with me, started taking more drugs, and then it just got so intense that I was jumping out of taxis, I was running away from my mates. I was just completely, like, any situation I put myself into, I would see trouble. Like, I'd read people's body languages. Like, I'd get messages from people's body languages, and I'd misread them, and I'd think that they direct me to go somewhere or do something. So then it got worse. I started getting messages from TVs, radios, just anything, bro. Like, it was so intense, and I thought everyone could hear and see these messages, and I thought that everyone knew what was going on, apart from the people that are in this world. There was the people that don't know what's going on, and they're asleep, and then the people that knows what's going on, and they're part of the army, and they're awake. And I thought that taking drugs make you awake, and then it just, from there, I ended up, it was all too much, because I couldn't tell anyone. Tried to commit suicide, had all these thoughts in my head, ended up in a psych ward, and yeah, it was just completely a nightmare. It was living hell.
Can I take this back a little bit? So this instance that you reckon pushed you over the edge or whatever with the acid, was this like a stronger acid than you'd normally take, or what was the go there? It was just half a tab?
Half a tab, and it was just
double dip or anything, or what was the go?
I'm not quite sure. We got it from some... We actually got it from some minions that was at a festival.
Oh, so the source was well unknown.
Yeah, well unknown. But it was just crazy, and yeah, it kind of destroyed most of my life. So
was that part before that, prior to that? all gravy or what? And this was a turning point, or were there little signs before that sort of, now that you look back on, you're like, oh shit, that was already in play?
Yeah, there's always signs. Had depression when I was in school. We were
like best mates during high school, bro. I didn't know this shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone. Mum tried to get me a counselor, because I was sleeping all the time, bro.
You're sleeping all the time?
They just tried to talk to me about what's going on, and I just kind of shut them off. And
you didn't want to talk about it, eh? You didn't want to accept it.
Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to accept it. Didn't want to be different. Just wanted to be a normal kid. And especially Wanaka, like, there's a lot of, I found in Wanaka there was a lot of pressure to be, like, the cool kid or, like, to do well. Because it's such a, like, different place, you know? That's why I found, like, the friends like you, just like completely down to earth, like 100% could trust. And
it is a bit of an odd place to grow up, because there's two different spectrums of it. There's like, I mean, most people in Monaco are pretty wealthy. Well, they were when we were growing up. And then there's like obviously quite a hippie sort of like feel to the place. And then there's like, but there's also like real like business type people there too. And there's no like, well, not that I really know of, like there's no really in between going on there. Do you know what I mean? And it's real small, tight knit community. Someone does something, everyone fucking knows about it.
Yeah,
but fucking half the time you'd hear about it before you had even fucking done something. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how fucking much talk goes on in small towns like that, and that's one of the things I do not miss at all. Fuck, I know, like obviously I got mates and shit here, and I know like all these people, but like no, like the word doesn't fucking travel around. If you do something and it's like, oh fucking, did you hear about Regan or whatever? Do you know what I mean? It's good.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be chilling by yourself, you can chill by yourself. Like, you fucking want to do whatever you want, you can do it. It's not going to fucking riddle the whole town.
Yeah, I know someone from Wanaka, and I was at their house, and they were like, oh, that house there, she does da-da-da. That house there, she does blah, blah. Oh, he's done this. Like, they just know everything about you.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy.
Who cares?
Yeah. Just let them do what they're doing, man.
Yeah. Fucking Inspector Gadget over here. Alright, you ended up with all these signals and whatnot coming in. How was that? Like, obviously living through it must be a bit. Is it different remembering it now, or like to what it was then? Because obviously then you were in a bit of a crazy headspace, and it was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, probably didn't understand it all. Now that you understand a lot more about mental health, looking back at it, is it like, if you had more knowledge of mental health, would you have been able to deal with it different?
I think I'd have to be more open. I wasn't open as a kid, and I was very stubborn. I'd have to break that stubbornness. But talking about that, if I like recognized it, or if I listened to, I actually watched a cartoon the other day, and it was the same cartoon that I watched when I was sick, and I got messages from it, and I watched it, and I was like, that's so, like, there's nothing there. I was like, what? And I just couldn't work out how did I even, it's just like, it just felt so much more when I was sick. But now watching it, it just seems like a normal cartoon. And
the mind plays crazy tricks on you, but when it wants to, like, if you don't have control of the mind, it will take control of you, and that's the realistic of it.
People don't know how strong it is, man. Like, people don't even understand it. People don't know what it can do. Like, it convinced me that I wasn't sick and that my beliefs were true. Like, the government was a big army. People after me. People want me dead. I should kill myself. My family are in trouble because of me. Like, it just plays so many roles that it's so dangerous to mess with. Like, if I didn't take drugs, I think I would still have a paranoia side to me, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would have escalated to this.
Yeah, no, I probably don't think that either. I mean, if you reckon that's what tipped you over the edge, or like, you know, felt like it put it in play at the time, then if you had eliminated that, you probably wouldn't have ended up in that situation. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'm the same, bro. I can't eat acid, bro. I turn into the, like, peeping Tom, bro. I'll fucking peeking around. I think everyone's talking about me, bro. I get the craziest anxiety. I just can't do it. It's just not my drug of choice. I haven't done drugs in fucking like 5 years, but when I did, like, even if someone offered me that for free, bro, there's no way in hell I would take that, because it would just freak me the fuck out. And there's people out there that can take it and fucking enjoy it. I like to have control of my life. I don't like something else having control of it. Like, that freaks me out, something crazy. Dude, so once you got past, obviously you ended up in these psych wards or whatever. What was that like at first, like walking into these? Because that must have been after. Was this before you had accepted that there was something wrong, or was this before?
Nah, this was I accepted that I was sick in the psych wards, and it took it must have been 8 months to realize that I was sick. I had so many psychologists about just heaps, and they're just picking at my brain, and I couldn't tell them answers because I thought they were actors, and I thought that they were just covering up my story, covering up just covering up what's going on, so it doesn't look, so I look crazy. So, but in my head, I thought that I was onto something. It was like it was, my beliefs were true, and so I didn't tell them much, and I went along with what they just said, and games. Yeah, pretty much. They got in my head so much, and I have to say the first one was a bad one. Like, he put on a front that I couldn't relate to, and it was just like I could see that he was just trying to be my best buddy, you know? I needed someone that was true, not fake.
Yeah. You can tell fake people from a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, I was sick, and I could tell that he was fake.
You ain't fooling anyone, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't until my last one.
So how many did you go through?
I think there was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And on the last one, he said that have I had any trauma? And I was like, oh yeah, like I had trauma when I was a kid, and he's like, and he kind of explained to me this process of growing up with trauma. You feel like the world's a dangerous place. Like, I was like 4 years old when I saw this trauma, so it got embedded. I was still learning stuff, so the trauma kind of like embedded into my head. And growing up, I was looking at the world as a dangerous place already, because of that was like a big fraction of my life, you know, that moment. And taking acid just combined it together. It's the acid bringing out the trauma, and doesn't know what to do with it, and making a belief out of it. And it made so much sense. And I was like, do you honestly think that this is what's going on? And he's like, yes. And he's like, you're having a like psychosis, and you're just delusional. And I was like, I can't be delusional because I have reasons for what's going on. Like, I thought planes flying over were giving me messages, like crazy stuff, motorbikes. And he's like, "You're delusional." I'm not delusional. And he's like, "You are out of touch with reality, and the way you think is delusional." And I was like, "Fuck, bro!" Like, because I was like, maybe he's right. Is he trying to like play mind games with me? Is he like fucking with me? Like, and it took a month to actually process that information because I was so solid on my beliefs that I thought were true that it just couldn't happen that fast, you know? It's crazy.
So does he go through when he was trying to like assess the situation or whatever and go like does he ask you these questions and you're like, oh well, I had this at 4 years old, or how does he go?
Questions.
Yeah, thousands of questions, and then he sort of works out where he thinks this is coming from or why it's happened, and that's how they come to the conclusion.
Yeah, well, a lot of it, if you do like research, a lot of mental health does come from trauma. Some is because of a brain kind of defunction kind of thing, but a lot of it is from trauma or what they've seen or heard or anything like that. So he's to put that into place, like it just made so much sense. And I've always been like when I had the trauma, I went quiet, man. I didn't talk. I didn't really trust new strangers, and people could see that I've changed. So it really, and I had nightmares all the way to I was like in my teenage years, like real intense ones that I just wouldn't want to go to sleep. I didn't want the dark to happen. I was like worried just to go to sleep, you know?
Yeah, rightio. And it's fucking played off throughout your whole life, realistically.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like it happened so like underneath me and just slowly grew that I just had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that's fucking it's a bizarre thing happen, but I mean now that you've got this all under wraps and he's sorted it out, do you still talk to this guy? Is he like your counsellor, or did he just diagnose the problem?
Yeah, in the psych ward, because it was overseas, you don't really make contact with him. But I've had a few I've got a psychologist at the moment that's picking my brain. Like you just have to you have to start over again and explain who you are. And she's really got a good idea of like who I am. So it's like our relationship's better now. Like at the start, it was all kind of like you just seem crazy, but then like when you give her the pieces to the puzzle, she's like, oh, like it does make sense. And
so
yeah,
she's pretty much just reworking it out just so she can get a grip of it now that you're back in New Zealand.
Yeah.
All right, no shit. So you said before that you got to a point in your life where you decided, hey, it's not worth living, and you tried to commit suicide. Was that was this whilst you were going through like the psych wards, or like while you were working it out? What part was where did this take place?
This was when I messaged and I just couldn't handle it, and so I ran away from him, and I spent the whole night just like paranoid as just walking around the city, like thinking people are following me. And it wasn't until about 8 o'clock in the morning I decided to ring him, and I was like, can you just come get me? Like, I'm fucked. And I just went there. I didn't say anything, packed up all my stuff, and I just flew back home and deleted everything on social media because I thought the government was tracking me that way, and I just didn't want anything to do with it. About a few weeks later, I just had like a breakdown and just wanted to die. They took me to the hospital. They had to inject me to knock me out. I woke up, pulled the needle out of my arm, and just ran for the hospital doors to the roof to just jump. But luckily, the hospital doors were locked, so they got me. They knocked me out again, and I woke up in a psych ward.
And wait, where was this? Sorry, because you cut out a wee bit there.
This was in Perth.
Oh, was it? Yeah, rightio.
Yeah.
So this was obviously all before everything went down.
Yeah. So that's when I first went into the psych ward. It was in Armadale. And same thing. This was in early stages, so I thought the psychiatrist was just the actor and didn't believe anyone and was really confused. Really, like, I just had all this information in my head and I couldn't tell anyone about it. And it was just crazy.
So obviously you've obviously taken fucking a massive positive from going through these psych wards. At the start, it sounded like it was quite hard work because you had to deal with people that weren't being for real, or were faking it to try to get answers out of you. But other than the positive of working out where this came from and what happened, were there any other things that were going down in these psych wards that were just crack up stories or anything that was just was beyond a level of belief of already what you were doing?
There was a lot of people wanted to talk about the government, which just did not help me one bit. I needed to stay away from those people, but they were like, yeah, the government is trying to do this and that. And a lot of people thought they were Jesus inside. They were spiritual. They thought they were like a different person. 10 years ago, 100 years ago, they thought that their bodies had
reincarnated.
Gone into them. Yeah. And there's this guy in there. He's an Asian, nicest dude ever, and he finds this grasshopper. I love the story. And he just he tries to let it go, but it doesn't hop. And I walked past them, and I kneeled down, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm trying to make this grasshopper hop." And he's like, "Come on, little grasshopper, just hop." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then he's like, "Greyson, say some positive words to him. Say something nice." And I was just like, "Come on, little fella, you can do it." And I was just in a psych ward talking to, pretty much telling the grasshopper to hop.
And did he get going or what?
I think he did. I think he got under the fence.
Nothing like a bit of
get under the fence. It was more free than us.
Jeez, mate, you need to get that water in you. So that would have been a bit of a rememberable point in the old psych ward, having the old pet grasshopper.
Yeah, there's always grasshoppers floating around, man.
Were there any other points, any other parts that were super relatable that everyone sort of had the same outlook as? I know, yeah. Obviously you think the government and whatnot like that, but were there any other things that you guys had in common with people that were also, sick? Yeah,
paranoia. A lot of people just had the same paranoia things, people after them. It was real interesting because I felt like all our stories joined up, but we all just had different scenarios. So it's that's when I saw back then I thought that it was everyone had their own different messages and that's how they got there. But when I got better, and
you guys were getting the same messages.
Yeah, well, I just thought that everyone in psych wards are people that are not fighting against, but don't understand, and they could tell the truth to the people that are asleep. So it was just really crazy, but then when I got better, I realized that mental health is actually a really big thing, and there's a lot of people that have things in common, and it's crazy to think how many people I've seen and met that have the same story as me and that are just going through hell.
Oh, I mean, I think that mental health is huge, bro. Like, I've been through a point in my life where my mental health was just absolutely fucked, and that was the most weirdest thing for me because I'm a pretty like positive guy. I decided to go vegan for 6 months, and this is where it all fucking went downhill for me. And I'm not knocking a vegan diet one bit. I'm all for it. Like, fucking, if it works for your body, go for it. If it works for my body, I'd still be fucking doing it, but it doesn't. So I've stopped that because it was fucking unreal. We went camping one year, and my mate had just gone vegan, and his missus had just gone vegan, and they were going like showing all this food, and I was like, once again, I like setting wee challenges for myself. So I was like, I'll do it for 6 months. Jumped on the bandwagon, fucking got probably maybe like 2 months in, and I was doing it all by the book. I was fucking eating lentils, beans, fucking nuts, you name it. Everything they say. I'd studied it inside and out. So I wasn't lacking anything, and I first noticed it going to the gym. My gym buddy was like, gym buddy, that sounds so gay. My mate was like, we were doing weights and shit, and I couldn't do the amount of weight that I used to be able to do, and I just like started becoming like really lethargic and whatnot, and because I'm obviously doing I'm not doing like the most physical work, but I'm out mowing lawns all day, and then I was going to the gym afterwards, so like I'm burning a lot of energy, so I need something there. I was eating fucking 4 meals a day. Just wasn't doing it for me. I stopped going to the gym because like my body was tired, and I was like, oh well, that's what I have to do to be a vegan. I'll do it. I'll stop. I'm sure like me walking around all day with my lawnmower is fucking enough. To keep me keep me in tip top shape. And then it got to a point where I just became super depressed. I was like, I wouldn't leave the house until like fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd go do my mows then. It was like I couldn't get out of bed, bro. I was in like the worst state, and this went on for like maybe like a month because I didn't want to give up on this challenge that I'd done. This is how hard I fucking pushed myself. And my girlfriend at the time was like, look, like you need to do it. And I was like, she's like, you need to stop doing it. You just need to eat some meat. And I was like, nah, I'm not fucking doing it. Like I've said I'm going to do this. Pushed through, and then I think I got to about 4 months, and fucking I had to pull the pin. I had to just throw it in. Fucking started eating meat again, and it only took 2 weeks, bro, and I was back into shape. I just fallen in this complete like I don't know what it was. It was just downward spiral.
And
prior to that happening, I used to think that like depression and whatnot was a bit of a crock of shit. So I used to be like, it's just a mindset sort of thing. But when you go through it, it's not until you go through it that you realise that it's for real, basically.
Yeah.
And you can't even explain, like, it's pretty hard to explain to someone that's never had it either. Because since that's happened, I've been in a position where someone else, one of my friends, has been like, oh, depression's rah-rah-rah, like, it's not fucking real. And I'm just like, man, I used to be in your fucking shoes. Like, I used to say this sort of shit. I ended up going through it, and now I believe it because it was fucking like the worst time of my life. Do you know what I mean?
And you just have no control of it.
Just still doesn't believe it, and I'm just like, what? Like, fuck. As soon as it hits you, like you'll fucking know it's for real because it's crippling.
Yeah, it's because people can't see it. That's why they're like, oh, like if you can't see something, most people just don't believe it's there. But it's the most dangerous thing to have is depression because next comes suicide, and it's just people just need to be so more open-minded about all this stuff, all this information.
I mean, I think that I know in Australia, like, people are very aware of it. Like, it's quite big over here because we've got all, like, the mine sites and all that sort of stuff. And, like, I don't know, mental health is a pretty big thing up there because people are doing bloody 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, going up there, leaving their families behind and going to go do work. Like, it's a pretty big, like, thing to
Big
sort
art.
of... Yeah. So I know I feel like it's, mental health is pretty big over here. I don't know what it's like in New Zealand. It's pretty secluded over there.
Yeah. Nah, I've seen, like, Mike King does a whole lot, also supports mental health. So, there's good role models out there that are supporting mental health, which is awesome. But I think we just need to convince more people or to check in with everybody and make sure that everybody is okay and that they're being honest and telling the truth and not hiding anything.
Yeah, that's 100% for sure. Like, people always look good on the surface. It's not until you start asking questions that you realise that most people have got issues going on.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't all be perfect.
Nah, can't all be picture perfect.
So from that, you've obviously started your mental health page. You've got your grey feathers. You've got your grey mental health. Now you've started this podcast as well. You've got a lot on the go.
Yeah, I see you've started this podcast as well.
I have started this podcast as well, which is it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've been listening to podcasts for fucking the last 3-4 years, and I always listen to them while I'm at work because I'm working by myself. So it's like a double whammy, bro, because I can become smarter whilst I'm fucking working. Do you know what I mean? Like,
making money.
It's a no-brainer, bro. It's straight up a no-brainer. But I've always looked at it as, I wish I was the person asking those questions, or like, I wish I was part of this conversation, because when you're listening to it, you feel like you're there. You're just fucking on mute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they've like blocked you, but you've sneakily like got that cuff on the window or on the door, and you're fucking listening to what those cunts are saying. But you get to a point where I was like, oh well, fuck, I wouldn't mind doing that, and it's not hard to have these conversations, like, especially obviously now with Skype and whatnot, and the internet's fucking connects everyone, bro. So if you want to get in touch with someone and have a yarn to them, 9 times out of 10 you can do it, unless they're a bit higher up the food chain than you and they don't want to fuck around with the small fish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But these small fish are gonna get bigger, man. So what's your podcast name?
Talking Turkey, my G. So it's it's pretty crack up. Bro, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I originally thought that I'd heard this from my old boy, because he used to always say, oh, just Talking Turkey, but I don't even know if it was from him. Hey, I'm yet to fucking ask him, because fuck, if it's not from him, I don't even know where the fuck I heard it from.
It's fate, man. It's fate.
But yeah, so I gave it that name because it was just fitting, bro. Like, that's all I'm here to do, is just talk turkey, bro. Talk a bit of shit, talk a bit of knowledge, and just fucking have a yarn and a laugh. Because why not?
Yeah. So what? Can I go into the guess, or is that a secret?
Into what?
The guess.
The guests?
How many? Yeah.
What, who I've been talking to so far?
You got a few people lined up, or?
Oh, I do, bro. I've got a few people lined up. They'll hopefully be taken. What's the word? They'll be taken off soon, and I'll be getting them under wraps, and then I'm just basically just searching for people that I'd like to talk to, bro. And if they're keen on a yarn, I'll fucking get them in for a chat. I mean, now that I've got everything all filled up, I mean, the world's my oyster.
You got two mics.
Got two mics, got fucking cameras, and now that I know how to work all the video editing and audio editing, I mean, I basically can talk to whoever the fuck I want to, whenever I want to.
Yeah,
good.
with a nice welcome smile and a hug.
Yeah, hey, how you going? I'm Regan.
Turn it down.
Yeah. So, no, it's been bloody good. It's a lot to take on, but like with all this equipment and whatnot, getting your head wrapped around that, that's probably taken me a month or two on its own just to work out.
Yeah, there's a lot of equipment that you need, but
like I say, it's all learning, bro. So it's all gravy.
That is it. It's all gravy.
What did you say? You're obviously doing your podcast as well. What did you say it was called?
Understand.
Understand. Why'd you call it that?
So it's understand. It means to understand mental health. Understand that we're all different. We're just different people. We're not different people, but we've come from different places, and that everybody is not the same. Everybody has gone through their rough patches or gone through seen stuff, or it's just to understand someone, so to give them a chance and to be more open-minded about who they really are.
Have you only just realised that in like maybe the last few years, like 2 to 3 years, that like because when you're younger you don't really think about it. It's like obviously you grew up just with your mum. I grew up with my mum and my dad. Like a few of our friends, we're in similar boat to you. Some were in similar boat to me. You don't think about it then, but I'd say like in the last 2 years, you're talking to people and they've had experiences that you haven't had, and you can see how it shapes someone, or like it shapes like their reactions or their emotions, and like it plays such a massive part, bro, that you would never think of when you're fucking. Well, I mean, I've probably only picked up in the last 3 years, so up until 25, I just didn't really think much about it. I was just like, we're all sort of the same, but fuck me, does it it makes a big impact on even just like this, like just little things, bro, like that you can pick up on, and you're like, oh well, that's what's up. Like that's just a completely different outlook.
Yeah. When I started my mental health page and I explained my story briefly, a lot of my mates were coming to me that I just had no idea, being like, oh, good work, blah, blah, blah. I've been struggling with like depression. I've been like real down the last few months. It just so much, and strangers as well, just that follow me, just always send me messages being like, like explaining how they feel and what they've gone through. And it's just like, why aren't we talking about it? Like, why does it have to take...
It's so easy to talk about, eh?
Yeah, like, why does it have to take someone to go through a shit time and then share their story for someone else to open up? Like, we should be, like, more open to our mates. Like, they're the closest people. They're not going to judge you, so it's got to be honest.
Do you reckon that, why do you reckon it is that we're not used to talking about this stuff? I mean, we weren't really taught it when we were growing up. It wasn't like, oh, fucking come have a yarn if you're feeling sad or whatever. It wasn't really like that, was it?
Nah, I think it's an old school way to not talk about you. Back in the day, the man never used to talk about his feelings. He was meant to be the man of the house, so everyone was meant to look up to him. So he was the protector, so he dealt with his problems. Nowadays, it's more we're understanding the brain, and we're understanding the sickness that mental health is. So we're slowly talking about it more, but there's still old school people out there, or there's still in this generation people that want to be like the old man and don't want to be different from him, so keeping his feelings together. So
yeah, it's crazy that even goes through someone's head. That, well,
I know.
I can't talk about this or I shouldn't talk about this. Like, fuck me, man. Just let it out. If you're feeling like shit, tell people.
It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. It makes you step out of the circle, you know, that we've all been trapped in.
Yeah, it doesn't make you weak at all. I mean, no one's going to know if you don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then a lot of people are just leaving it until it's too late. And it's just so, like, the numbers are just crazy. Like,
do you find that since you've been doing your page and your Instagram and whatnot for your grey mental health, do you get like a lot of messages of people being like, thanks for your work, rah. But is it continuous or is it just like one-off messages and they're like, boom, you made my day? Or
there is like a few people. It depends what I post. If I post something serious or something that I've gone through that is quite dark, people seem to react to it and then be like, oh, or if I make a point about mental health, they seem to come up and they'll be like, oh, like, really love what you did. And they'll give me, like, some of them explain their situation and then see how, like, a post has helped them or information has helped them. And that's awesome. That makes my day and it makes me feel like there's a purpose for what I'm doing.
Yeah. So going back to this personal trainer, what was his name again?
Oh,
Anthony.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Was that you? Did he reach out to you and say, "Hey, what's up? I like your stuff. I want to, help you fucking shred some kilos," or did you reach out to him? How did that come about?
He messaged me and he's like, "Oh, I really like the stuff that you post. I go through like a bit of bad mental health sometimes. If you need anything, let me know." And then I was just like, shit, like, I need to lose weight.
This is perfect.
Every second week, been video calling each other, and yeah, it's just been awesome. So, really lucky to have that person in my life at the moment because I needed it.
Yeah, get you back on track, eh? Just get you a bit of fucking momentum, eh? Once you get a wee bit of exercise in you, you start fiending it, bro. It's like a bit of a drug. So you start off and it's like you need that fix every second day or every day. And like even just going out walking the dogs, bro. You wake up in the morning, that's what you're ready to do. That's your mindset. It's go give those dogs a walk. It's not only you that needs it's not only the dogs that need a walk. Sometimes you need to get out and about and stretch those fucking Achilles heels.
Yeah, it definitely leads up to more activities that you can achieve. So,
it does.
The first thing you meant to do is make your bed, because that's the first activity. If you make your bed first thing in the morning, then that's one activity done, and then your day is just going to be so much different. If you leave it messy, you're going to have a messy day.
I was just watching something about this the other day, and it was to do with like, I think it was on Netflix or something. There's some TV program about successful people and like why they're successful, and that was one of the fucking things, bro. And it was
the thing, bro.
It 100% is, bro. Like making your bed in the morning, it gets you up, it gets you fucking active, and as soon as you tick that one goal off the list, you're fucking ready to tick more goals.
Yeah, 100. You're kicking goals.
Is that what I said?
Nah, you tick goals. I just
kicking
like
goals work,
I was trying to get the Aussie slang in there. Slang.
Fucking yeah. So it's definitely true. Did you make your bed this morning?
No.
Bro, that's probably why you've had such a shitter of a day.
I'm a preacher, but I don't do it. Nah. Did I? Nah, I don't think I did.
Nah, it doesn't sound like it, bro. You would have been like, yeah, I did. I've been doing jobs all morning. Put the washing out, fucking did the rubbish.
Yeah, I put the dishwasher on.
Oh.
Bro, my dishwasher has got turbo button and it blasted. Bro, my dishes were so dirty. I was like, no way, this is going to come out clean. Chucked it in, bro. Because normally I rinse it, but I was just like, nah, just chuck it all in. Bro, it came out crystal clear, man. It was like, and it was piping hot as well. I don't know what that dishwasher did, but
What the fuck? Turbo button? So what? Why is it not always on turbo?
nah, because it uses more water and shit like that. It's not a turbo button, but that's how I describe it. It's like a extreme or something like that.
Extreme wash, heavy duty.
Heavy duty.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, my dishwasher's been out of whack for a good couple of months now, so I've got really big wrist muscles just from that and a few other things I do around the house.
Yep. I'm sure that's the reason.
Well, have you got any other questions you'd like to ask me, Greyson?
What was the turning point for you to make a podcast?
So to be honest with you, the turning point for me was Jesse's brother. He actually started doing his own podcast, and we used to watch it. We used to go out and watch it every Tuesday, whenever he did it, and I just seen sort of like the equipment that they had and what they were using for it. And I was like, fuck, you know what? Like, I reckon I could, get all this shit together and do my own one. Fucking just get amongst it. And that was basically it, bro. I'd been thinking about doing it for fucking ages, like absolutely ages. I'd always talk about it. I'm going to do a podcast. I want 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 to do a podcast. And then fucking, yeah, Jesse's brother did one, and I was like, wow, like, because it was kind of like, I guess within the vicinity, like I knew someone, like I didn't actually know him as a person, but I knew of him, and I was like, fucking, I was like, man, if he can do it, fucking I can do it. So I just slowly started collecting all the gear. Obviously, me and you had our chats, and you helped me a lot with all the mics and fucking some of the equipment and whatnot. And we just slowly, week by week, just started ticking it off the list until I had a full setup. And then I was like, well, I'm ready to go.
Check it out.
So
yeah, harder.
That realistically was my turning point for it all. So
that's cool, man. Because you're such a good talker. I remember, like, growing up, like, I used to be like, I just wish I had your confidence, because you were like talking to adults, you were like talking to anyone, and I was just like, I could talk to adults, but I wouldn't say much, or it would be really, really short. But yeah, no, you're a good talker, and I reckon you'll do well.
I think I would have got that from the old boy. He used to run his mouth a fair bit, so I think that's where I got most of my talking from.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah,
yeah.
Well, I probably don't even really have any much more for you either there, matey potato. So I reckon we should almost wrap this one up. And
I think so. It's been good, man.
It's been fucking awesome.
Chat.
I'm sweating up a storm over here. I think it must be about to rain soon, because it feels humid as fuck. I feel like it's almost raining a wee bit on me.
You don't have a roof?
No, dude, it's got holes in it. Oh, well, thanks for coming in, matey potato, even though you didn't come in, but you came in, if you know what I mean.
Thanks for being on my screen, brother.
That's all good, my G. Well, we'll have to do this a bit later down the track and see how you're getting on with everything from your end of the podcast, and reevaluate the situation.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Alright, my G, will you stay safe?
Alright, mate. You too.
See ya.